Well, first off, let's start. For those who are unfamiliar with you and unfamiliar with your game, can you kind of describe yourself? Maybe what your play style is, and kind of just go from there.
Okay. You want me to start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I would say I'm a little versatile. I try to be a home run hitter, and I feel like I can improve myself every single play, whether it's practice or in the game. And I feel like I'm a coachable person. I feel like if I get the opportunity to just show what I can do and just show I can be a playmaker, I feel like regardless of what level I'm at, I feel like I can play, especially on special teams as well.
Okay. One question I have for you, right off the bat, you've really exploded onto the scene. Coming out of high school, did you have any FBS offers, or what did that process kind of look like?
So the process was slow for me at first because after my junior year, I didn't really go to that much camps, and my coach he didn't know what he was doing, and I didn't know what I was doing as well during the process. So after my senior year, I began to get offers from D2 schools, and I didn't really get any D1 offers until track season, but the only walk-ons I had that were D1 was a Ball State offer and an offer from Akron, and that was really it. No FBS offers, nothing too big, but I just decided to go to D2 so I can get my degree, and I knew I wanted to play football, but it was just getting a degree paid for fully was the first idea that I wanted to tackle, really.
Now, speaking of your degree, what is it that you're majoring in, and why is it that you're majoring in that?
So I majored in business because I feel like at the end of the day, I want to be my own boss and I want to own a couple businesses other than owning my own gym, owning my own restaurant. Just really just having a brand and just really able to just take off with a lot of things. So business, I feel like it wasn't too easy, but it was something that I wanted to really, I was interested in. So it was like, why not do this?
Okay. Now I've heard, maybe this isn't true. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I've heard that when you first got to Tiffin, there were quite a few running backs that you had to compete with, kind of
Oh,
earn
you,
your stripes.
yeah, you heard right.
What what did that
You heard
process
right.
kind of look like?
So there was 32 running backs when I first got here. Six of them got moved to tight end, and after that, we was down to like 26, 25 running backs. And I was just taking every rep like it was my last. I stood out while I could, and I played special teams as well. That was a big thing, how I got on the travel bus. But I just kept playing like there was no tomorrow, like I still do. But it was just adversity, really. That's all it is. You just kick through the door. Don't wait for it.
Now, is that anything that ever, at any point did you kind of think to yourself, what am I doing? Should I have went somewhere else? Or was it just,
uh,
hey, I know I'm the best. I'm gonna,
I mean, a lot of things was running through my head, but I really was just trying to trust the process of whatever situation I was in. But I would put my head down and just keep grinding and just pray for the best. And now I'm here.
Now, obviously, going to Tiffin, it's considered a small school, no doubt. What do you say as you go through the draft process and people start to, they use the kind of the cliche, well, it's a small school, the level of competition's lower. How do you respond to that?
So I would respond with that as in film doesn't lie, regardless of what level. So if I get a bowl game invite and I can show my talent, I feel like at the end of the day, like my words don't mean anything. I just need to go out there and have fun and just ball. So at this point, I feel like film doesn't lie and it speaks for itself. So I let the film do the talking.
Well, speaking of bowl games, I mean, I think Jim Nagy has mentioned you as a small school prospect on Twitter. What's that like to log into your Twitter account and see someone like that talking about you?
I mean, it's surreal, but how I see it is it's another opportunity to get better, and it's an opportunity to showcase what I can do. And like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like no matter what level I'm at, I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna be coachable. I'm just gonna have fun with it and just play backyard football, really. So that's how I see it.
Well, take me through this process, right? Let's say that you've just taken a handoff from your quarterback on an inside run.
Yep. Yes, sir.
What's going through your mind? What are you looking for? What does that process look like for you, and how do you make the most out of that?
So the first thing I'm looking for is an open hole, obviously, but I'm always thinking like my second option, like where can I go if this ends up not working? But if the hole's open, I try to hit it as fast as I can. And once I get to the second level, I'm thinking maybe juke a linebacker, throw a stiff arm out to get to the third level. And once I get to the third level, I'm thinking top end speed and just get faster, gain ground, and no matter what I have to do, get to the end zone, just be that home run hitter.
Now, is there like a fine line that you try to follow as far as ball protection versus fighting for extra yards? Because a lot of the times you see
Yeah.
fumbles occur as people are fighting for those extra yards. How do you approach that?
So how I see it is at all times I try to have great CPW. That means cover the point and pin the elbow with the wrist up. So I always try to really just be about that on and off the field. I try to hold footballs off the field as well. But it's working day by day, working every week on it. It's just you really really doing it. You can't just be talking about it, but you just have to be on it like 24/7. And it's just being able to just practice and just actually lock in and focus on the specific details, because one little thing could throw off the whole big picture. And fumbles, my coach really hates fumbles, so that was one big thing he always talked about was if you're gonna fumble, you're not gonna play for me. So I always took that to heart, and I just always worked on it.
Now, another aspect of your game, obviously you've done a little bit of receiving. We've seen running backs really at times struggle. Some running backs with catching the football. Why do you think that
Mhm.
is, and how are you working to get to that top level of being able to catch the football and make moves?
I feel like some guys have trouble catching the ball because at the end of the day, it comes down to practicing. Are you catching 100 balls a day? Are you catching 200 balls a day? So I feel like some guys go out there with somewhat stiffness and somewhat nervous when you can just be like relaxed and you already worked on this. So it's nothing new to you. But how I work on it is I walk around with actual 2 tennis balls and I just work on catching them all day. And I work on catching like 50 balls a day, sometimes 100. But I would say just doing the small things can really, really change your game and just make the whole big picture like beyond what it is. Like like all the small things matter. But I would say tennis balls and just catching a bunch of balls like with different ways of variants of catching the ball, basically.
You've mentioned different workout techniques you've used a couple different times. What does a typical workout look like for you?
So for me, so I've been on YouTube throughout this whole process at Tiffin. So I've took things from social media, YouTube, and I've incorporated them into my game, and this allowed me to really finesse the game, and it helped me just be who I am today. So like I could say there's a guy on Twitter named Footwork King, and another guy named Goldfeet Global. I would try to incorporate their drills into my drills, so it would help me mold me into the man I am today, on and off the field.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Obviously, I'm sure with the production, the time you've been at Tiffin, you're viewed as a locker room leader at this point.
Mhm.
If there's a difficult situation in a locker room, how do you approach that as a kind of a team leader?
We're gonna face it as a whole team. Like at the end of the day, like we're all brothers. We're all doing what we got to do to sacrifice. And I feel like if there's a problem, especially in the locker room, we all have to face it as men. Like
Okay.
I'll speak up if I have to, or if somebody else has to, I'll be right there with them.
So my last question for you,
Yes, sir.
say that someone that is a decision maker that, is going to ultimately decide maybe where you end up a couple months from now. If you had one opportunity to kind of tell them why what would it be? What would you say?
All that I'm a workhorse. I feel like I'm a great guy. I feel like I'm a people's person as well. So I feel like just because it's football, 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 some people miss the little pictures, like just knowing like a GM's father or knowing a GM's brother, like all the small things, being a people person, but also being a baller at the same time, and make sure that you're knowing your job and that you know what you're doing out there, and just you're having fun and you're going full speed 100% every time that you get out there on and off the field, especially practice.